What's up, folks? My name is Trill, better known as Budget Bill, and today I have another stimulus update video for you. Today we're going to talk about the collapse in the negotiations in Washington that ultimately led to no stimulus deal developed. That's our topic, but before we get started, if this is your first time to the channel, hey, welcome and glad to have you. Be sure to subscribe to the channel so you can be a part of it. Also, be sure to smash that like button as it really helps the channel grow. Now, let's go ahead and jump right into the video. What's up, folks, and thanks for sticking around. So it is Saturday and Congress has officially let the American people down. I don't know why, but we all had high hopes for Congress to work overtime and steady to get a relief deal done before they go on their August recess break. But instead, the negotiations have appeared to collapse. Treasury Secretary Steve Mnuchin stated earlier this week that they are making great progress on the verge of having an agreement from both sides. Well, it appears that the negotiations have made a turn for the worst. Negotiations appear to have turned around Thursday afternoon and ultimately went down the hill from there. For over 2 weeks, negotiations with Democrats Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer, along with White House officials Steve Mnuchin and Mark Meadows, and on Thursday there were signs that things had taken a turn for the worst, as several news outlets had little or nothing to report on. Even on Friday, Fancy Nancy proposed to lower the request for $3 trillion down to $2.4 trillion. However, the White House rejected that offer. A reporter asked Steve Mnuchin his thoughts on it, and he stated that for them to go from $1 trillion to $2.4 trillion is a non-starter conversation. Basically, that dropped amount is not enough to move the needle in order to get both parties together again. Chuck Schumer spoke up and urged the Republicans to meet them in the middle and to present something to the House of Representatives that was under $2 trillion, would ultimately not receive enough votes to get the bill passed. The White House officials had no comment. So, in the end, Nancy Pelosi told the White House officials to let her know when they are ready to return to negotiations to discuss higher numbers with nothing less than $2 trillion. Steve Mnuchin responded that they would be more than happy to continue to negotiate if they had any other proposals to bring to the table. But as of right now, both parties are not seeing a benefit to continue the negotiations at this time. Chuck Schumer said that he was very disappointed in the way that the negotiations have turned out, but he still wants to continue to work something out with both parties. And then on Friday, Steve Mnuchin met with President and told him that negotiations have collapsed and that if Mr. Trumpy wants to go ahead and start preparing for the executive orders to provide provisions for the American people. Now, moving on, another question is whether Mr. Trumpy will really execute an executive order to save America. Well, he has been teasing this option since earlier this week, but still nothing in concrete just yet. He initially gave a deadline to the negotiators till the end of the week to get the stimulus relief deal completed. But as you know, Friday came just too fast as no deal was done and nothing even close to it. If President Trump comes to the rescue to save the day, he is expected to make an executive order that would extend the weekly $600 FPCU or the enhanced unemployment benefits, the extension of the eviction moratoriums, a payroll tax deferment, and an extension of the student loan forbearance. These 4 things can be enacted immediately if Mr. Trumpy pulls the trigger. Now, Trump is the man of many, and he definitely loves to say things to keep people on their toes and always guessing what he will do next. But on the other hand, most people question the validity of what he can actually has the power to do. But knowing that he could potentially pull this one off and save a lot of struggling families right now will be pretty remarkable. Now the question is, what's next? What's going to happen to our economy? Well, in the short term, landlords and Americans will be going through eviction proceedings. More people will be unable to afford food on their tables and pay their mortgages as they have either lost their jobs or had their hours cut at work. The number of illness cases will continue to rise as people are still not protecting themselves with wearing a mask during the rallies and the social events. And speaking of putting food on the table, if you have been affected directly from the pandemic, you want to check out my video about applying for a PEBT or pandemic EBT card. That could be some additional assistance that you could tap into, and I will include a link in the description as well as a card up here for you. But switching back, as Congress is on another recess break for the remaining of August, what's going to happen? Well, Congress initially stated that they will be working some during their break towards the next stimulus relief bill. But with looking how the negotiations on Friday completely collapsed, I don't expect any of them to be working over their particular break. Now, perhaps they might start back working before they return in September, which that would give them an opportunity to reset and to return back to work with a fresh perspective. Also, Congress may watch the news or read the headlines while they are away, and we'll see how many Americans are suffering right now and be more than willing to return back to work to put in the work for the American people. Now, before Congress returns, we just may see Mr. Trumpy step in and perform those executive orders. If so, that should help out the negotiations going forward with the negotiators and make it a little bit easier for Congress since they have been struggling with the way things are currently. But overall, at some point, I do think we should have a deal in place which the American people will receive another big fat stimulus check of $1,200. But until then, please make the preparations to survive in the meantime. My heart goes out to those that are struggling right now with their finances, their mortgage woes, and the ability to feed and take care of their families. But the ball in the court is now and always will be in the hands of the government, and that will probably never change. But hey, if you enjoy these stimulus update news videos, please give this video a like, as it definitely helps out the growth of this channel. Also, if you haven't subscribed to the channel yet, this is a great time to click on the subscribe button down below as well as the bell next to it so you can be notified every time I upload new videos. Again, hey, I appreciate you guys stopping by and watching, and I hope to see you on the next video. Peace.